Okay, so today's class is going to be on plant kingdom. Okay, last class we saw about biological classification. So today's class will be plant kingdom. Okay, so uh, what are the key points of the kingdom Plantae? Okay, so with all the classification systems, okay, from starting from Linnaeus, the 2 kingdom, 3 kingdom, 4 kingdom, till the 5 kingdom system of classification until now, this kingdom Plantae has been constant. Okay, always this kingdom was there, but only the organisms or the group which was there in the kingdom has been continuously changing, but the kingdom Plantae, the plant kingdom was always constant. Okay, so what it includes? It includes all the eukaryotic chlorophyll containing organisms called as plants. Okay, so obviously kingdom Plantae, all the plants will be included in it, all eukaryotic chlorophyll containing organisms. However, still we have some exceptions. For example, some members are partially heterotrophic. They are not like eukaryotic chlorophyll containing. All of them are not eukaryotic chlorophyll containing. Some of them are even heterotrophic. Okay, for example, insectivorous plants like the Venus flytrap or parasites such as Cuscuta. Okay, so and apart from them, what are the features of a plant? It will have an eukaryotic structure with a prominent chloroplast, and the cell wall is mainly made up of cellulose, and the life cycle of a plant will have two phases, a diploid saprophytic phase and a haploid gametophytic phase, and both these phases it will alternate with each other. This is known as the alternation of generation. Okay, so about this we'll see later. Okay, so this slide would have seen in the last class itself. Okay, so we have three main types of classification. We already saw about this: artificial system, natural system, and the phylogenetic system. So in artificial system, what we see only the superficial morphological characters, whereas in the natural system we see the it is based on the natural affinities among the organisms, like the anatomy, embryology, or the phytochemistry of the organisms. Whereas the currently accepted system is the phylogenetic system. This phylogenetic system, it is based on the evolutionary relationship between various organisms. Okay, so this will assume that the organism belongs to the same taxa having common ancestors. Okay. So with this information, we now use information from many other sources also, because there were some difficulties in classification. For example, we don't have a fossil support or a fossil evidence for every every organism we find. So with other characters we used to classify those organisms. Such taxonomy, there are three types of such taxonomies. First is the numerical taxonomy, second is chemotaxonomy, and third is the cytotaxonomy. So numerical taxonomy, in the namely we can know numerical means what? Numbers. So numerical taxonomy is which is now easily carried out using computers using observable characters. Okay. For example, each plant or will have various characters. For example, basic morphological characters the color of the plant pigment, the morphology of the leaf, the stem, and the we have each characters. So a number or a code will be assigned to all these characters. A number or codes will be given to all these characters, and then the data will be processed. Okay, so if a plant is has red color pigment, அதுக்கு வந்து ஒரு code கொடுப்பாங்க, இல்ல ஒரு number. For example, red color pigment number 1. Okay, so a brown pigment means number 2, green pigment 3. அந்த மாதிரி each character they give a code or a number. Okay, with that, in this way each character will be given equal importance, and at the same time, because since we are using computers, hundreds of characters will be considered at once. Okay, so this is the greatest advantage of classification of the recent time classification. Okay, next is chemotaxonomy. So what is chemotaxonomy? Chemotaxonomy uses chemical constituents. Chemotaxonomy. So it uses chemical constituents of the plant to classify. Okay. Next is cytotaxonomy. Cytotaxonomy means cyto na cell. Okay. Cytotaxonomy na, which uses cytological information. Okay, cell-based information. What are the chromosome number, structure, behavior, so adella vechi classify pandratha cytotaxonomy. Okay, so we have numerical taxonomy, chemotaxonomy, and cytotaxonomy. Clear? Next, now we'll see about plant kingdom, the actual part of the lesson. So plant kingdom, it is broadly divided into two subkingdoms, Cryptogamia and Phanerogamia. So Cryptogamia means seedless plants, seed illada plants. So Phanerogamia means seeded plants. Phanerogamia is also known as spermatophyte. Okay. So under Cryptogamia, we have algae, bryophyte, and biophyta and pteridophyta. And under Phanerogamia, we have gymnosperms and angiosperms. So coming on to Cryptogamia, we know algae. Okay, algae pati we know. So next about bryophyta, it is the most primitive land plants. Okay, the most simplest land plants, land la grow agra plants da the bryophyta. Those are included under bryophyta. Next is pteridophyta. Pteridophyta means vascular cryptograms. Okay, vascular plants, vascular cryptograms are enna, they have well-developed vascular system. What is the vascular system? The xylem and the phloem. Okay, and the vascular system ella irukra plants, irukra cryptogamla irukra plants da vandu pteridophyta. It is included under pteridophyta. Clear? So moving on to Phanerogamia. Phanerogamia we have gymnosperms and angiosperms. So in gymnosperms we have naked seeded plants. Okay, whereas in angiosperms we have seeds with ovary wall. That's the difference between gymnosperms and angiosperms. And angiosperms are further divided into, classified into dicots and monocots based on the number of cotyledons. Clear? Okay. Okay. So the first topic under Cryptogamia, seedless plants, is algae. So we'll move on to algae. Okay, so what is an algae? Algae is mostly aquatic. Where it will be present, it will be in the aquatic region. Mostly aquatic, but some are terrestrial. Land terrestrial, it can grow. Okay, and few algae, they grow on other plants also as like parasites or symbionts. On the madri, they grow. That is also there. Then we have aquatic algae. They grow both in marine water or in fresh water. They grow both in marine as well as in fresh water. Okay, this is about its habitat. Next, how are its what are its forms? Okay, it can either be unicellular or multicellular. Okay, they may be small unicellular like Chlorella or Chlamydomonas. Chlorella is non-motile, whereas Chlamydomonas is motile. Okay, or it can be multicellular like Spirogyra or Ulothrix. It will be multicellular, unbranched and filamentous. It can be multicellular, or it can either be branched filamentous or unbranched filamentous. So it can be branched filamentous or unbranched filamentous. So unbranched filamentous is your Spirogyra, Ulothrix, etc. And branched filamentous is your Chara. Okay, and also it can be in colonial forms. The colonies form pandrathu. So colonial form la enna irukna, example is your volvox. Okay, so apart from all these unicellular types, it can also be huge. Namaga vandu naked eye le paakra madriyum there are algae. Okay, huge macroscopic such as seaweeds. Okay, it measures up to 60 meters in length. Okay, sargassum, example is your sargassum. So this is about the habitat and different various forms of algae. Now moving on to the chemical constituents, what are present in the cell wall, etc. Okay, so algal cell wall consists of two layers. The inner layer contains cellulose and the outer layer is composed of pectin. Inner layer is cellulose, outer layer is pectin. Okay, so the algae consists of various types of photosynthetic pigments. Okay, based on the pigment only, algae is even broadly divided. Okay, we'll see about it later. Now we'll see what are the pigments it contains. It contains chlorophyll A, carotenoids, phycobilins, etc. All these are the pigments produced in various algae. Okay, so how will be the reserve food material? How will they store food? Reserve food material na in the form they will store food. So they form in the form of starch, laminarin, mannitol, or Floridian starch. These are the different reserve food materials in the form in which the algae stores the food. Okay. Now next is the reproduction in algae. So how will algae reproduce? Okay, algae reproduces either by vegetative method or asexual or sexual methods. All the three methods it can reproduce. Vegetative method is by fragmentation or by simple division. Fragmentation, we know a fragment will be formed and it will get detached and form into a new individual. Whereas this fragmentation, it usually occurs in filamentous forms. Whereas cell division usually occurs in unicellular forms. This is the difference. Next is the asexual reproduction. So what happens in asexual reproduction? It happens by the formation of various types of non-motile or motile spores. Spores are the main things here in asexual reproduction. Okay, so by various spores, motile or non-motile spores, asexual reproduction occurs. Okay, the most common spore is the motile zoospore. Okay, and these zoospores are flagellated, motile, and on germination they'll give rise to a new plant. That is about asexual reproduction. Here, zoospores are important. Mainly, spores are involved. Moving on to sexual reproduction. Okay, in sexual reproduction, what happens? Fusion of gametes occur. Okay, based on the fusion of gamete, we can classify them into isogamy, anisogamy, and oogamy. Okay, what is isogamy? Isogamy means fusing gametes. They will be similar in size. The ரெண்டு gamete fuse ஆகுது. Both the gametes will be similar in size. ஒரே மாதிரி sizeல இருக்கும். Anisogamy means fusing gametes will be dissimilar in size. வேற size இருக்கும். One will be large, one will be small. இல்லனா வேற various sizesல இருக்கும். So iso means same. So isogamy, now gamy is fusion. So isogamy, fusion of the gametes which are similar in size. And isogamy, opposite of iso. That is, it will be dissimilar, not similar. So fusion of gametes which are dissimilar in size is known as anisogamy. Clear? Next we have the oogamy. Oogamy, it is also like anisogamy, but what is the difference is that it will the fusion will occur between a large non-motile female gamete and a small motile male gamete. So what is the difference? Here, non-motile female gamete, that is the egg. Usually the egg will be non-motile, it will be larger than the male gamete. That is the female gamete. Then what is the male gamete? Male gamete will be the sperm. So it will be smaller in size, but it will be motile. Okay, so the fusion between a large non-motile female gamete and a small motile male gamete is known as oogamy. So these are the three types of fusion which occurs in the sexual reproduction of algae: isogamy, anisogamy, and oogamy. Clear? Okay. Now, why is algae important? What is the economic importance of algae? So at least half of the carbon dioxide fixation on Earth is carried out by algae through photosynthesis. Okay, so being photosynthetic, and they increase the level of dissolved oxygen in their surrounding. That is an important point. And very important is that they are the primary producers of the energy-rich compound which forms the basis of food cycle in the aquatic animals. They are the primary producers in the among the aquatic animals. Okay, and also many species like Porphyra, Laminaria, etc., they are used as food. Okay, certain marine brown and red algae, they produce large amount of hydrocolloids. What is hydrocolloids? Hydro means water. So hydrocolloids are substances which have capacity of holding water. Water holding substances are called as hydrocolloids. So this water holding substance, this in the what to say, this character has been exploited in various for production of various industrial purposes, other things. Okay, so for sorry, they are the hydrocolloids. Okay, water holding substances. Example is your align, which is produced by a brown algae, the carrageen, which is produced by the red algae, etc. All these are commercially used for their for the use as a hydrocolloid. Okay, next is your agar agar. Agar agar is a commercial product. It is used for jellifying ice creams, jellies, and also a very important importance is that it is used for growing microbes. So artificially in a growth medium, we grow microbes using agar agar. Okay, so this agar agar is obtained from Gelidium and Gracilaria species of algae. Okay, that is one importance. That is one very important thing of algae. Okay, next is chlorella and spirulina. So chlorella and spirulina, we know, we have heard of single cell proteins. So chlorella and spirulina, they are unicellular algae which are rich in proteins. They are used as food supplements as single cell proteins. Okay, so these are the economic importance of algae. So they have for carbon dioxide fixation, it increases the level of dissolved oxygen. They are the primary producers among the aquatic animals. Many species are used as food. They are used as hydrocolloids, and agar agar is an important commercial product obtained from algae. Then chlorella, the spirulina, they produce single cell proteins, which is widely used as supplements, etc. So all these things are the economic importance of algae. Next is the what to say classification of algae. So algae is classified based on their pigment. Okay, so if an algae has green pigment, it is known as chlorophyceae, green algae. Okay, if an algae has brown pigment, it is known as phaecophyceae, okay, brown algae. Or rhodophyceae means red algae, it has red pigment. So based on the presence of the pigment, algae is classified into three types: chlorophyceae, phaecophyceae, and rhodophyceae. First, we'll see about chlorophyceae. Okay. So what are chlorophyceae? They are usually grass green, okay, in color due to the dominance of the pigment chlorophyll A and B. The chlorophyll A and B they are green in color, usually grass green in color. So these pigment, they are localized. Where it is present in definite chloroplast. Chloroplast these pigments are present. The chloroplast of these plants, they differ in various shapes. They will be discoid shape, plate-like it will be, or it will be reticulate, it will be cup shape, spiral, or ribbon shape. In various shapes, these chloroplasts will be present. Okay, and most of the members, they have one or more storage bodies. Okay, so most of the members have one or more storage bodies called as pyrenoids. Okay, they are located in the chloroplast. These pyrenoids, what they contain? They contain protein-based starch, and some algae also they store in the form of oil droplets. Okay, it will be either protein-based starch or oil droplets. Then green algae, they usually have a rigid cell wall made up of an inner layer of cellulose, as we already saw. Inner layer of cell wall of the cellulose, outer layer will have pectin or pectose. Okay, then the vegetative reproduction is generally by fragmentation. Asexual reproduction is by flagellated zoospores. Sexual reproduction, it can be by the fusion will occur either by isogamous type or anisogamous or oogamous type. And the common examples are Ectocarpus, Diota, Laminaria, Fucus, etc. So this is about chlorophyceae, the green algae. So what is a green algae? Green algae, because the name is given green algae because it contains pigment chlorophyll A and B. Okay, it is usually grass green in color. This chlorophyll A and B pigment, this is present in definite chloroplast. Chloroplast present are. These chloroplasts, they are of various shapes: discoid shape, flat-like shape, reticulate shape, cup shaped, etc. And storage bodies, it will be storage bodies are called pyrenoid. In these storage bodies, the food is stored either in the form of protein based starch or oil droplets. Usually it is starch. Besides that, protein is also present and oil droplets are also present. Then the inner cell wall is cellulose, outer cell wall is pectin. The vegetative reproduction takes place by fragmentation, asexual reproduction by zoospores, and sexual reproduction by fusion. The fusion of gametes will be either by isogamous, anisogamous, or oogamous. Okay, and these are the common types. So now we have seen about chlorophyceae, the green algae. So next is Phaeophyceae, that is the brown algae. So since this algae contains brown color pigment, it is known as Phaeophyceae. Okay. So the members of Phaeophyceae or the brown algae are found primarily in the marine habitat. So brown algae, they are mainly present in the marine habitat. They have variation in size and form. They have varied size and forms. Okay. It can be either simple branched or filamentous forms to profusely branched forms. Okay, so simple filamentous forms are example pata ectocarpus. Profusely branched are kelps. Okay, these kelps, it can reach even 100 meters height. So it can be very simple to profusely branched, avlo large size la kuda irkalam. So they have great variation in size and forms. Okay, so here what are the different pigments present? Here chlorophyll A, C, carotenes, and xanthophylls. These are the various pigments present in brown algae. Okay, so what will be the color of brown algae? It will be from varying colors from olive green to various shades of brown. Okay, usually it is brown in color, but some are olive green also. Olive green to various shades of brown it can be. Okay, it is based on the amount of the pigment which is present in it. Okay, so the food, how it is stored in the form of complex carbohydrates. Okay, it can be in the form of laminarin or mannitol. Okay, and the vegetative cells will have cellulosic wall which is dually covered on the outside by a gelatinous coating of algin. Okay, so algin will cover the cellulosic wall. Okay, so vegetative reproduction, same thing. It happens by fragmentation, asexual reproduction by zoospores, and sexual reproduction either by isogamous, anisogamous, or oogamous. And the common forms are ectocarpus, laminaria, etc. Okay, so next is Rhodophyceae. So Rhodophyceae are the red algae. So the members of the Rhodophyceae, they are commonly called as red algae because of the presence of the red pigment. So here the red pigment is called as phycoerythrin. Okay, so erythrin in mandala, it means some red color pigment is there. For example, erythrocytes. What are erythrocytes? What is an erythrocyte? So what is an erythrocyte? Very good. So red blood cells are called as erythrocytes. Okay, because they are red in color, we call it as erythrocytes. Similarly, the pigment is known as phycoerythrin. Okay, phycoerythrin is present in red algae. So majority of the red algae, they are marine only. With great concentration, they are found in the warmer areas, mainly in the warmer areas, marine habitat. Okay, and they have a red thalli. Thalli or thallus means the plant body. Okay, so the red thalli of most of the red algae are multicellular. The food be stored in the form of Floridian starch. Okay, which is similar to nothing but similar to amylopectin and glycogen in structure. Okay, then the red algae usually they reproduce by same thing, fragmentation. Here, asexual reproduction is not by zoospores but by non-motile spores. Okay, and sexually or by non-motile gametes. Clear? Okay, so the sexual reproduction can happen by oogamous, and it is sometimes accompanied by some post-fertilization developments will also occur here in red algae. The most common members are Polysiphonia, Porphyra, Gelidium, etc. Clear? So now we saw about Chlorophyceae, Phycophyceae, and Rhodophyceae. Chlorophyceae is green algae, Phycophyceae is brown algae, and the Rhodophyceae means red color algae. So these are the three types of algae, classification of algae based on the pigment. Okay, so Well, we'll see what are the major difference between these three algae. Okay, the common name is chlorophyceae, the green algae, phycophyceae, brown algae, and rhodophyceae means red algae. What are the major pigments present? Chlorophyceae chlorophyll A and B, phycophyceae chlorophyll A, C, and fucoxanthin. Rhodophyceae chlorophyll A, D, and phycoerythrin. Okay, so this is the difference in the pigment. Next is your stored food. How is food stored here? In the form of starch in chlorophyceae, in the form of mannitol and laminated in phycophyceae, and in the form of floridian starch in rhodophyceae. Okay. So how is cell wall here? In chlorophyceae, it is made of cellulose. In phycophyceae alone, it is made of cellulose and algin. I told you a coating of algin will be there. So in phycophyceae alone, along with cellulose, algin is present. Rhodophyceae, similarly, cellulose is present. Okay, so how will the flagella number and position will be? It has 2 to 8 flagellas. The number will be equal numbers and the position is apical here. In phycophyceae, there are 2 flagellas unequal and they are lateral. Okay, whereas in rhodophyceae, there is no flagella. Okay, what is the habitat? Chlorophyceae, it is usually fresh water, brackish water, or salt water. Phycophyceae, fresh water is rare. It is generally salt water or brackish water. In rhodophyceae, only some are fresh water and most of them are salt water and brackish water. Okay, so next is your bryophyta. Now everyone is clear about algae. Okay, so Cryptogamia we have now seen about algae. So everyone is clear about algae. Okay, any doubts? Any doubts? Okay, since there are no doubts, we'll move on to the next group, that is the bryophyta. So next is your bryophyta. So what are bryophyta? They are very primitive land plants. Land terrestrial, they are growing. They are very primitive. Romba simple land plants. They are commonly known as amphibian plants. Amphibian plants in Ketale, we should know it is bryophyta. Okay, so they are mostly terrestrial plants which depends on the external water for fertilization and completion of life cycle. Okay, so generally I told you they are land plants, but they require water for fertilization for completing their life cycle. Adanala, since they require both land as well as water, we call it as amphibian plants. Okay. And where do they grow? What is the habitat? They grow in shady, moist places where they have moisture, like moist wall, damp rocks, moist soil, and on decaying logs, etc. Okay. They show thalloid plant body, which is not differentiated into root, stem, or leaves. Okay, so what is a thallus? Thallus, I told you it is a plant body or a plant body mari irukum, but அது வந்து ஒரு ஸ்டெம்மா லீஃபா ரூட்டா நம்ம தனித்தனியா பார்க்க முடியாது. ஒரு just an not undifferentiated அப்படியே இருக்கும். மொத்தமா differentiate பண்ண முடியாது. லீஃப் எது, ரூட் எது, ஸ்டெம் எதுன்னு. So you can see in this picture. So it will be like that. So that is known as a thalloid. Okay, it has a thalloid plant body. Okay, so what about the roots? In bryophyta, true roots are absent. Okay, there are no true roots like other plants, but they have rhizoids. What are rhizoids? Small root-like projections madri irukum. That is known as rhizoids. Okay, so rhizoids will be present, but true roots will be absent. So liverworts la pathina rhizoids are unicellular, but in mosses rhizoids will be multicellular. Likewise, rhizoids will also vary from different types. Okay, so the main purpose of this rhizoids is to observe water. அதாவது ரூட்ஸ்க்கு பதிலா இருக்கிறதுனால the function of the roots வந்து it will carry out the function of the roots. For example, it will absorb water, minerals, and it will fix the thallus to the substratum. Since it is an undifferentiated structure, அத வந்து அந்த லேண்டுக்கு அந்த சப்ஸ்ட்ரேட்டம்க்கு ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்றதுக்கு அட்டாச் பண்றதுக்கு it will help. So this is the function of rhizoids. Clear? So what is a biophyta? They are amphibian plant. They are simple primitive land plants but require water for fertilization. So they are known as amphibian plants. Okay, so where do they grow? They grow in shady, moist places. Okay, and the the plant body is a thalloid. Okay, and true roots are absent. Only rhizoids are present. Clear? This is about the basis of bryophyta. Now we'll see about the reproduction. What are the phases of the bryophyta? So we have two different phases. Okay, before moving on to gametophyte and before going on to all these reproduction, we'll see about some terms. Okay, which is important. So, what is a sporophyte? What is a gametophyte? You need to know all these differences before moving on to all the life cycle, etc. Okay, so sporophyte na ennadu, gametophyte na enna. Sporophyte is a diploid structure that involves in the 2N phase of the plant life cycle. Okay, so it is a diploid structure. Diploid. Okay, it has 2N phase of the plant life cycle, whereas gametophyte na haploid structure, only N. It involves only the N phase of the life cycle. Haploid na half the cells, where diploid na 2 times the number of cells. Okay, first you will know about diploid, then haploid. Okay, so what is diploid? It consists of 2 chromosome sets in the somatic cell. Okay, whereas haploid na only a single chromosome set in the somatic cells. Here, mitosis, they maintain the 2N cell while increasing the cell number. Mitosis occurs where they maintain the 2N cells while they increase only the cell number. Whereas here, gametes they are produced by meiosis of 2N cells. Okay, so since it is 2 chromosome sets, எவ்வளவு chromosomes இருக்கும்? 46 chromosomes இருக்கும். Whereas haploid only 23 chromosomes இருக்கும். Okay, so generally the diploid cells எதுலலாம் இருக்கும்னா many animals, plants, fungi, etc. Similarly, haploid main green plants la, parasites la, ants la இருக்கும். So this is the difference between haploid, diploid. Diploid means 2 times, haploid means half the number. Okay, அதுதான் main difference. அது be clear in that. Next is sporophyte, gametophyte. Sporophyte na enna? Diploid structure. So diploid structure na it will have 2N phase of the plant life cycle, whereas gametophyte na it is haploid structure, only N phase, that is half the number of cells, N phase of the plant life cycle. Okay, sporophyte எங்கெல்லாம் இருக்கும்னா reproduction mode என்னன்னா asexual reproduction இருந்தா அது sporophyte phase ல இருக்கும். Sexual reproduction gametophyte phase ல நடக்கும். Clear? So dominance பார்த்தோம்னா sporophyte எதுலலாம் dominant-ஆ இருக்கும்னா pteridophyta, gymnospermae and angiospermae. So whereas gametophyte dominant-ஆ எங்க இருக்கும்னா bryophytes-லயும் algae-லயும் மட்டும் gametophyte dominant-ஆ இருக்கும். Okay, how is it produced? By mitosis. Sporophyte phase ல mitosis நடக்கும், gametophyte ல meiosis நடக்கும். Okay, spore formation இங்க haploid spores form ஆகும், whereas in gametophytes it produces haploid male and female gametes. Okay, இங்க spores form ஆகும், இங்க gametes form ஆகும், இங்க haploid spores form produce ஆகும், இங்க haploid male and female gamete produce ஆகும். Okay, so how will be cell division? It will be through by meiosis. Okay, to produce haploid spores, whereas cell division in gametophyte mitosis to produce gametes. Okay, so that is the difference. How it is produced by mitosis, whereas here it is meiosis. Whereas எப்படி spores produce பண்றாங்கன்னா it uses meiosis here, whereas it uses mitosis to produce gametes. Okay, in the phase sporophyte phase it is asexual phase, whereas gametophyte phase வந்து sexual phase. Okay, and haploid பார்த்தோம்னா it is diploid, as I told you, double set of chromosome இருக்கறனால diploid. Haploid because only a single set, that is half the number, the single set இருக்கறனால here it is haploid. Okay, so and the spore bearing structure க்கு வந்து பேர் வந்து sporangia ன்னு சொல்றோம். Here gameto and the what to say, the male and female reproductive structure வந்து bear பண்ற structure வந்து gametangia. Okay, archegonia and arthridia. Arthridia is the anthridia is the male reproductive structure, and archegonia is the female reproductive structure. Okay, so this is the main difference between sporophyte and gametophyte. Then we saw the difference between diploid versus haploid. Now dominant and recessive na enna? Dominant na term la irukku, dominant, so that will be more dominating, whereas the recessive one will be the weaker one, that will be less dominating. Okay, and dependent and independent na or idu வந்து இன்னொரு இது depend பண்றா, it is dependent. Okay, whereas if one is independent of the other thing, okay, அது இல்லாம கூட it can happen na, it is independent. Okay, so remember all these terms. What all? Haploid, diploid, sporophyte, gametophyte, dominant, recessive, dependent, independent. So these terms and after this you will continuously hear. Okay, so only if you know the meaning of it, it will be easier for you. Okay, now we move on to our topic. Okay, so we saw about bryophyta. Ipo வந்து what are the different phases of reproduction in bryophyta and paakalam. Okay, first is the gametophyte. So the main plant body, that is the thallus of the bryophyte, is haploid. Okay, it produces gametes, adukku per, hence it is called as gametophyte. Okay, gametophyte and sporophyte are nothing but different stages of a plant life. Or plant oda life cycle la irukra two different stages da வந்து gametophyte or sporophyte. Okay, so the main plant body வந்து here it is thallus. The thallus main plant body is haploid. Okay, it has half the number of only one set of chromosomes, so it produces gametes which are called as gametophytes. Okay, so here the sex organs in bryophytes, they are multicellular, and the male sex organ is called as antheridium, female sex organ is called as archegonium. Okay, so the antheridium, it has biflagellated cells called as anthrozoids. Okay, antheridium produces biflagellated cells called as anthrozoids, and the female sex organ, as I already told you, it is archegonium. So it is a flask shaped structure. Flask மாதிரி இருக்கும். The bottom on the swollen side la வந்து there will be a cell, on the top elongated side வந்து it will have a stack மாதிரி ஒரு structure இருக்கும். So that is called as archegonia. In the swollen side it will have a single large egg. Okay, so the anthrozoids are released into the water, where they come in contact with the archegonium. Okay, so the male gametes, so the male cells, they are released into the water. Like we already saw, fertilization ku vandu water is important for them, adanal then they are amphibian plants. Okay, so once the anthrozoids they are released into the water, they'll come in contact with the archegonium, the female reproductive structure. Okay, then what happens, the anthrozoid will fuse, they'll enter into the flask shaped archegonium, they'll go near the egg, they'll fuse with it. The anthrozoids will fuse with the egg to produce the zygote. Okay, that is the reproduction here. And here the gametophyte is a dominant, haploid and independent phase. Okay, here it is dominant, haploid, independent phase. Okay, அப்படியே வந்து when we see the sporophyte phase, sporophyte phase la enna nadakum, the zygote produces a multicellular body called as sporophyte. Clear? So the sporophyte, it is not free living, it will be attached to the photosynthetic gametophyte and it will derive the nutrition from it. And some cells of the sporophyte, they'll undergo meiosis to produce haploid spores. These spores will germinate to produce the gametophyte. Clear? So again then the cycle it will repeat. Here sporophyte phase pathona, that we saw that gametophyte is dominant, haploid and independent phase, whereas here the sporophyte phase is diploid, recessive and it is partially dependent on the gametophyte. Okay, so this is the life cycle. This you can see the gametophyte phase is dominant here and the sporophyte phase is recessive here. Okay, so this is the archegonium, the female reproductive structure. It has a flask-like shape. Keela vandu swollen edathila vandu you have a large egg, then you have a sac-like thing. So this antheridium is the male reproductive structure. So this will also have a elongated elliptical structure with a stack, and this will have many numbers of the sperms. So in the water what happens, fertilization occurs, the embryo is developed and the gametophyte is formed. Okay, similarly the sporophyte generation enagos, the sporangium and the spores will come and the spores will germinate, they will form the gametophyte. Okay, so the cycle will repeat. So this is about the reproduction in Bryophyta. Now we'll see about the economic importance of Bryophyta. So how is Bryophyta important? Some mosses. Okay, so mosses come under Bryophyte. So some mosses they provide food for herbaceous mammals, birds, other animals. They feed on these mosses. That is one economic importance. Next, this species of sphagnum, it is a moss. It provides peat that has been long used as a fuel. Okay, and because of their capacity to hold water, the same thing, hydrocolloids marine, it has a capacity to hold water. They are used as packing materials for shipments of living material, transshipments of living material which requires moisture. They use these use peat which is produced from the sphagnum moss. Okay, mosses along with lichens are the first organism to colonize the rocks and hence are of great ecological importance. Okay, so they decompose the rock, making the substrate suitable for the growth of higher plants. Okay, that is one importance of bryophytes. And also these mosses they make dense mat on the soil. This will reduce the impact of the soil on like it will prevent soil erosion. Okay, so harsh rain length it prevents the upper soil from getting damaged. Okay, so these are the economic importance of bryophytes. Now we will see what are the different classifications, how different important bryophytes in it. Okay, there are three types here. One is liverworts, hornworts, and mosses. Okay, so liverworts are otherwise known as Hepaticopsida, and mosses are known as Bryopsida, and hornworts are known as Anthoceratopsida. Okay, so these are the three bryophytes, important bryophytes we'll discuss about. In this class, we'll discuss about liverworts and mosses. Okay, so first is the liverworts. Okay, so the plant body of a liverwort is thalloid. Example is here Mertensia. Okay, so the thallus is dorsiventral and closely oppressed to the substrate. Okay, what is dorsiventral? Dorsi means the back side, ventral means the upper side. So two different sides two different surfaces will be there for the thallus. So it is dorsiventral and it will be closely oppressed to the substrate. It will be very much closely attached to the substrate. Substrate is nothing but the soil. Okay, so it attached the tiny appendages or the rhizoids that will attach the plant to the soil. Okay, so how is the reproduction here? It can either be by asexual reproduction or by sexual reproduction. So in asexual reproduction in liverwort, it takes place by fragmentation. Fragmentation it will occur with the help of specialized structures called as gemmae. Okay, gemmae or gemma, singular it is known as gemma. Okay, the gemma are nothing but a green multicellular asexual buds. Okay, they are buds, small multicellular green color asexual buds. These gemma or gemmae will be present in small structures called as gemma cups. Okay, you can see in the picture there are small cup like structures here. Okay, in the cup like structures these are called as gemma cups. There will be those gemmae or gemma will be present. The buds will be present. Okay, so the gemmae becomes detached from the parent body and germinate to form a new individual. So in the gemma cup they get detached, they from the parent body, they go out, they produce a new individual. Okay, this is this reproduction is by fragmentation. So in liverworts, reproduction is by fragmentation by specialized structures called as gemma. So gemma it is nothing but an asexual bud. Okay, and the asexual bud gemma cups in a structure it will be present in the thalli. Okay, and once these gemma gets detached from the parent body, they will germinate and form a new individual. That is asexual reproduction in liverworts. Whereas sexual reproduction there will be male and female sex organs will be it can be on either on the same or different thalli. Okay, so the two different thallis in the sex organs can be present in the same thalli itself, or it can be present on different thalli. Clear? So the sporophyte it will be differentiated into a foot, seta, and a capsule. Okay, so three different structures. Foot, okay, the lower part is the foot, then you have the seta and the capsule mari or structure. So after meiosis, what happens? Spores will be produced within this capsule. The capsule will spores produce and these spores will germinate to form free living gametophyte. Okay, so clear? So male and female sex organs will be there. It can be present on either on the same thalli or different thalli. Okay, then the sporophyte will be differentiated into foot, seta, and capsule. Once meiosis nadandadukku spores will be produced within the capsule. This spore will germinate to form the gametophyte. Okay, so this is about the sexual reproduction in bryophyta. Okay, so next about the meiosis. So the gametophyte, which consists of two stages. Here in gametophyte will consist of two different stages. The first stage is the protonema stage. Okay, this protonema stage it develops directly from a spore. The spore direct develop protonema stage. Whereas the second stage is a leafy stage. This develops from the secondary protonema as a lateral bud. Okay, so initially in gametophyte two stages. So they have two different stages in gametophyte. The first stage is protonema stage. Protonema stage it will directly form a spore. Okay, whereas the second stage the leafy stage. Leafy stage form secondary protonema form. It is a lateral bud they form. Okay, so how will it be? It will be upright. They'll have a slender axis bearing spirally arranged leaves. Okay, so upright na straight slender and mala spirally arranged leaves on the top. Okay, so they'll be attached to the soil through multicellular and branched rhizoids. So rhizoids will only attach the plant to the soil. So this stage bears the sex organ. So in the stage, the secondary stage, the sex organs so the vegetative reproduction will be by fragmentation and budding in the secondary protonema. Whereas sexual reproduction the sex organs in the antheridia and the archegonia will be produced at the apex of the leafy shoots. Okay, and after fertilization, zygote will develop. This will develop into a sporophyte, which consists of a foot, seta, capsule. Okay, already we have seen. Okay, the structure of the spirophyte the foot, seta, capsule, moon structure. Okay, moon parts. Okay, so the sporophyte in the mosses is more elaborate than in liverwort. Okay, but the structure is similar, but it will be more elaborate than in liverwort. Okay, here the capsule will contain the spores, and the spores will be formed after meiosis. And the mosses have an elaborate mechanism of spore dispersal also. how they disperse the spores in. Okay, the common example வந்து என்னன்னா funaria, sphagnum are the common example of mosses. Okay, so we saw about liverworts. Liverworts ennaagum, it has a thalloid plant body and it will be it has the thallus is dorsiventral, rendu surface irukum, and it will be closely oppressed to the substrate. Closely it will be attached to the substrate. The leafy membranes will have tiny appendages which will be attached, that is by rhizoids, it will be attached to the soil. Here both asexual reproduction nadakum, sexual reproduction nadakum. Okay, so asexual reproduction is by fragmentation. Fragments on the here we call it as gemma or gemma, and the gemma வந்து it will get it is nothing but an asexual bud. It will get detached from the thalli. அது வந்து it will germinate and form a new individual. Whereas sexual reproduction la paatha, they'll have male and sex organs in male and female sex organs either in the same or in different thalli. Adukaprom the sporophyte will have the spores. After meiosis, spores will be produced within the capsule of the sporophyte. Adu vande it will germinate to form the free living gametophyte. So this is the life cycle in liverworts. Next is about mosses. Mosses vande it is different from liverworts. Here the gametophyte will contain two different stages. First is the protonema stage. It will develop directly from the spore. Second is the leafy stage. Leafy stage vande it will develop from the secondary protonema as a lateral bud madri it will develop. Okay, the structure எப்படி இருக்கும்னா upright, straight, slender axis ஓட இருக்கும், spirally arranged leaves இருக்கும், and it will be attached to the soil with the help of rhizoids. Okay, so in this stage they will bear the sex organs. Vegetative reproduction எப்படி இருக்கும்னா by fragmentation and budding. Sexual reproduction by the male and the female sex organs, Antheria and Archegonia. So fertilization will occur, zygote will develop into sporophyte, and sporophyte oda structure vandu foot, seta, capsule மூணு parts ஆ இருக்கும். So it is similar to liverwort, but here it will be more elaborate. The structure and the spore dispersal is more elaborate than in liverworts. Okay, common examples is funaria, sphagnum, இதெல்லாம் வந்து common examples. Okay, so till here it is about bryophyta. So bryophyta, important thing to know is amphibian plants. Okay, the plants but require water for fertilization. Adanal they are called as amphibians. Okay, and on this thalloid structure it will not be differentiated into root, stem, leaves in it. Then it will have rhizoids. Rhizoids are nothing but a root ku badala it is a substitute which absorbs water, minerals, and helps in attachment of the plant to the soil. Okay, adukapra they have two different phases about the life cycle of bryophyta, then economic importance of bryophyta, apra the two important types, liverworts and mosses. Okay, clear till here? Okay, everyone is clear till here? Any doubts? Any doubts, others? Okay. Okay, since there are no doubts, we'll move on. Okay, now we have seen about cryptogamia la ennala paathutom, algae paathutom, bryophyta paathutom. Next is pteridophyta. Okay, pteridophyta means vascular cryptograms. Now we'll see about pteridophyta. Okay, so pteridophyta, the first vascular plants and the first successful terrestrial plants with true roots, stem and leaves, but no flowers, fruits and seeds. So adha vande it is about pteridophyta. So they are the first vascular plants. Okay, so vascular plants, now what did I tell you? Vascular means they have well developed vascular structures. Adha conducting structure, that is the xylem and the phloem irukkum. Okay, so they are the first successful terrestrial plants. Okay, with true roots, stem and leaves. Okay, bryophyta லாம் பார்த்தோம், it is undifferentiated. அதுக்கு வந்து தனித்தனியா leaves stem கிடையாது. But here in pteridophyta they have two roots, stem and leaves. But என்ன இருக்காது, flower கிடையாது, fruit கிடையாது, seeds கிடையாது. Okay, so these three things are absent. Okay, so they are called as vascular cryptograms. Okay, so cryptograms லே வந்து vascular இருக்கிற plants வந்து pteridophyta. So they are known as vascular cryptograms. Okay, what do they include? They include horsetails and ferns are included under pteridophyta. So pteridophyta, they are terrestrial, small, either annual or perennial. They grow luxuriantly in cool, moist and shady place. Okay, so அதோட தேவையான habitat எப்படி இருக்கணும், it should be cool, should be moist, it should be shady. Okay, so mostly they are aquatic. Example is your azolla or azolla, or it can be xerophytic like equisetum or epiphytic. Okay, growing on large trunks of trees. Okay, and the madri, so it can be either aquatic, xerophytic or epiphytic. Now we'll see about the plant body. So bryophyta ka plant body, it was like a thalloid, undifferentiated. அதனால அதல பெருசா பார்க்கிறதுக்கு எதுவும் இல்ல. But pteridophyta, since they have true stem, leaves, etc., we'll see about the plant body. So the primary root is short-lived and it will be soon replaced by adventitious roots. Okay, stem எப்படி இருக்கும், it will be aerial or underground. Sometimes it will be aerial, மேல அப்படியே எரெக்டா இருக்கும், or sometimes it will be underground. Okay, so leaves எப்படி இருக்கும்னா, it will be scaly, scales மாதிரி இருக்கலாம், or simple sessile இருக்கலாம், or large pinnately compound. So these are different types of what to say, different morphologies of a leaf. Okay, scaly இருக்கலாம், simple sessile or large and pinnately compound. இதெல்லாம் வந்து types of leaves. Okay, so இந்த மாதிரிலாம் வந்து it can be there. Okay, so the leaves in pteridophyta are small, as it can be small. Smaller இருந்தா அது வந்து microphylls ன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. So if it is large, it is known as macrophylls. So microphylls, they are usually present in Selanginella, whereas macrophylls, it will be present in ferns. Okay, so in pteridophyta, xylem will consist of only tracheus and phloem consists of seed cells only. Okay, so vascular plants are still they are primitive. So xylem contains only tracheus here and phloem contains only the seed cells here. And secondary growth is not seen in pteridophyta because of the absence of the cambium. Secondary growth வந்து இங்க கிடையாது. Okay, next is the reproduction. So how will the reproduction be? The sporophyte, it shows asexual reproduction. Okay, so sporophyte nale it is asexual reproduction. So what it will do, it produces spores by meiosis from which gametophyte develops. So the same thing, sporophyte on the asexual reproduction, it shows asexual reproduction, that will produce spores by meiosis from which gametophyte will arise. Gametophyte here will be haploid, recessive but independent. Okay, haploid is less dominant, recessive but independent of sporophyte. It can happen separately also without the help of sporophyte. It is independent here. Okay, and it reproduces sexually. Sporophyte asexually, gametophyte sexually. Okay, so the product of sexual reproduction in they'll produce zygote, which produces a diploid sporophyte. Okay, so the cycle will continue. Here the spores which are produced in special multicellular structures called as sporangia. Sporangia are the special structure which contains the spores in them. Okay, in the sporangia it will be produced by leaf-like appendages called sporophylls. From these sporophylls, sporangia is produced. Sporangia kulla வந்து spores இருக்கு. Okay, in some cases sporophylls may form distinct compact structures called as strobili or cones. Okay, சில cases என்ன ஆகும்னா sporophylls will form some compact structures called as strobili or cones. All these are nothing but various structures, and the structures ku vera different names kudukranga, that's it. Okay, so sporophylls will form distinct compact structures called as strobili or cones. In Selanginella, Equisetum la வந்து அதோட நேம் வந்து strawberry or cones அப்படின்னு நம்ம சொல்லுவோம். So the sporangia produces spores by meiosis in spore mother cell. Okay, and the spore will germinate, will give rise to small but multicellular free living, mostly photosynthetic thalloid gametophytes called as prothallus. Okay, so these gametophytes, they are known as prothallus. That is thallus ku munnadi irukra that stage is known as the prothallus stage. Okay, that is produced here. So this is about the life cycle in Pteridophyta. So to continue, these gametophytes, what they do, they bear male and female sex organs for the same thing, the antheridia and archegonia. Okay, and similarly water is required for them for fertilization. Water is required for transfer of anthrozoids. The male gametes released from the antheria to the mouth of the archegonia. Then fusion will occur, which will result in the formation of zygote. Zygote, what will happen? Zygote will produce a multicellular, well-differentiated sporophyte. This sporophyte will be in the dominant phase here, okay, of the pteridophyte. Okay, in majority of pteridophytes, all the spores are of similar kinds. Such plants are called as homosporous. So spores எல்லாமே வந்து similar, ஒரே மாதிரி டைப்பா இருந்தா it is homo same, homosporous. Okay, for example, in Solanginella and Salvinia, the spores will be of the same type. அது வந்து homosporous னு சொல்வாங்க. And sometime it will be heterosporous. Heterosporous na when they have a macro and a microspore. ரெண்டு type of spore. ஒன்னு வந்து பெருசா இருக்கு, ஒன்னு ஸ்மாலா இருக்கு. ஒன்னு macro large, ஒன்னு வந்து micro small இருந்தா it is known as heterosporous. Okay, that will be there in some other types of pteridophytes. Okay, so the megaspore and the microspore. So the larger one is known as the megaspore, smaller one is known as the microspore. Okay, they germinate and they give rise to the female and the male gamete respectively. Okay, so the megaspore will become the female gametophyte, and the microspore will become the male gametophyte. As you already know, female gamete na enna egg, egg da vandu large ah irukum. So megaspore na it will give rise to female gametophyte, whereas microspore, male gamete is small ah irukum. So microspore will give rise to male gametophyte. Okay, so the female gametophyte in these plants, they are retained on the parent sporophyte for some period of time. Then the development of the zygote into the young embryos will take place within the female gametophyte. Clear? So for some time what happens, the female gametophyte will be retained on the parent itself. Then the zygote will develop into young embryo. Then it will take place, the embryo formation will take place within the female gametophyte. Clear? In some cases, the pteridophytes, apart from the normal way of reproduction, what they do, they follow two different methods. One is apogamy and one is apospory. Okay, apogamy means development of sporophyte without the fusion of male and female gametes. Okay, it arises directly from the gametophyte. அந்த மாதிரி இருந்தா it is apogamy. What happens? The sporophyte will develop without fusion of male and female gamete. அது தவிர டைரக்டா gametophyte ல they develop. அதுக்கு பேரு apogamy. What is apospory? What is apospory means? It is the development of gametophyte from any cell of the sporophyte other than the haploid spore. Such a gametophyte is diploid in nature. Okay, so apospory na gametophyte will develop from any other cell apart from the haploid spore la irundhu develop agama vera endha cell la develop aachna, it is apospory nu solluvom. Here the gametophyte will be diploid in nature. Okay, so then we have various types of classification of classes of pteridophyta. Okay, Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida, Pteropsida, all these are different classes. Just if you remember the names and these examples, it is enough. Okay, so this is about Pteridophyta. Okay, clear? Clear about Pteridophyta? So pteridophytes na enna vascular cryptograms. Okay, they are the first vascular plants and the first successful terrestrial plants having true roots, stem and leaves. Ana flower kadiyadu, fruit kadiyadu, seeds kadiyadu. Okay, example வந்து ferns, horsetail எல்லாம் will come under pteridophyta. So they have a plant body. They have well differentiated plant body. Its life cycle. Okay. So, any doubts? So, you have any doubts? Okay. Now, so we have seen about algae pathoto, bryophyta, pteridophyta. Okay. All these three things we have seen. Okay. So, cryptogamia வந்து full we have completed. They are seedless plants. We have completed algae, bryophyta and pteridophyta. Now moving on to phanerogamia. Okay, phanerogamia na enadhu? They are seeded plants. So seeded plants, there are two types: gymnosperms and angiosperms. Gymnosperms are naked seeded plants. Okay, there won't be any outer wall edume illama the seeds வந்து naked we can see. Okay, அதுதான் வந்து naked seeded plants. They are gymnosperms. Whereas angiosperms are they are seeds with ovary wall, that is angiosperms. Okay, so here for you people, angiosperms in the it has been omitted from the syllabus. Okay, so I'll continue with gymnosperms now. Okay. So most of the gymnosperms are evergreen. They are perennial woody trees or shrubs. Okay, so the gymnosperms are plants in which the ovules are not enclosed by an ovary wall. So the seeds will be naked. Or ovary wall edhum irukadu. It will not be enclosed by any ovary wall. They will remain exposed. Both before and after fertilization, the seeds will be exposed. So that is the main character of gymnosperms. They are non-flowering plants and they produce naked seeds. Okay, non-flowering plants, they produce naked seeds. However, fruits are not produced. Okay, here the xylem has tracheids and phloem has seed cells. So these are the main features of gymnosperms. Evergreen perennial woody trees or shrubs. They have their ovules will be exposed. Okay, the seeds will be exposed. Ovary wall kadayadu. Okay, and they are non-flowering. They'll have naked seeds, but fruits will not be produced. Xylem has tracheids, phloem has seed cells. Okay, now moving on to the plant body. So the plant body is the that is the sporophyte is differentiated into root, stem, leaves. நம்ம தனித்தனியா gymnosperms differentiate பண்ண முடியும். Okay, so how will roots be? They are specialized sporaloid roots of cycas shows association with nitrogen fixing blue green algae and pinus. Okay, so cycas and pinus, they are examples of gymnosperms. So they show pinus shows association with endophytic fungi called mycorrhiza. So roots pathona usually they'll be in association with algae or any roots of any other fungi, etc. Okay, cycas plant it will be in association with nitrogen fixing blue green algae, whereas in pinus plants with endophytic fungi. Okay, so it is known as mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza means mycona enna algae வந்து mycon சொல்லுவோம். So mycorrhiza, rhiza means related to roots. So mycorrhiza. So this will be seen in pinus plants. Okay, next about the stem. stem எப்படி இருக்கும்? The gymnospermic stem is mostly it will be erect இருக்கும், aerial, solid and cylindrical. You can see here erect, aerial, solid and cylindrical இருக்கும். Okay, so ficus ல பார்த்தோம்னா it is unbranched, while pinus, conifers அதெல்லாம் வந்து it will be branched. So it can be unbranched also or branched also. Okay, so leaf எப்படி இருக்கும்? Dimorphic இருக்கும். So two different morphologies இருக்கும். Foliage leaves எப்படி இருக்கும்? Simple needle like இருக்கும், needle மாதிரி இருக்கும், or pinnately compound needle மாதிரி இருக்கும். Okay, then they have scale leaves. Scaly leaves இருக்கும். They will be small, membranous, brown in color. You can see here scaly leaves. Okay, so the gymnosperms are heterosporous. Okay, so heterosporous na enna? The spores will be of different types. It is known as heterosporous. They produce haploid microspores and a megaspore. So microspore produce pannu, megaspore produce pannu. Micro based on the size, microspore and megaspore. So the two kinds of spores are produced within the sporangia. So sporangia is the spore bearing structure. Sporangia kulla வந்து spores இருக்கும். Okay, so இந்த sporangia வந்து two types of spores வந்து produce பண்ணும். That are born on leafy structures called sporophylls. So இந்த ரெண்டு spores, அதாவது megaspores and microspores வந்து எங்க இருக்கும்னா it will be present in the sporophylls, leafy structures called as sporophylls, which are arranged spirally along an axis to form a lax or compact strobili or cones. Okay, so அது spiral அப்படி arranged இருக்கும். So spiral சுத்தி arranged இருக்கும் to form a compact strobili or cones. The structure க்கு பேரு தான் வந்து strobili or cones. So the strobili bearing microsporophyll and microsporangia are called as male strobili or the male cone. Okay, so microsporophyll இருக்கிற strobili க்கு பேரு வந்து male cone or the male strobili. Okay, so the microspores develop into a male gametophytic generation which is reduced and is confined to only a limited number of cells. Okay, microspores enna agum, it will develop into a male gametophytic generation. Adula வந்து it will have only limited number of cells. In the reduced gametophyte is called as pollen grains. Okay, so the development of pollen grains will take place within the microsporangia. Clear? So next one, the cone bearing megasporophylls. So the cone bearing megasporophylls with the ovules are called as female strobili. So megasporophylls in the mega na larger sporophyll. Larger sporophyll obviously it will be in the for the female. So it is the female strobili or the female cone. Okay, so the male and the female strobili may be born on the same tree. Like in case of pinus, pinusல வந்து male strobili இருக்கும், female strobili இருக்கும். However, ficusல என்ன ஆகும்னா male cones and megaspores are born on different plants. Here ficusல வந்து it will be present on different trees. Okay, so the megaspore mother cell is differentiated from one of the cells of the nucleus. Okay, so one of the cells of the nucleus, it will be differentiated from one of the cells of the nucleus. So this is the microsporangium. The microsporophylls will be present. By meiosis, microspores are formed. This will undergo mitosis to produce the gametophyte. Okay, so gametophyte enna agum, here pollination nadakum and then fertilization will occur. Okay, so zygote is formed. It will form the embryo and it will form a diploid sporophyte. Similarly, in megasporangium enna nadakumna, megasporangium kulla vandu megasporophyll irukum, which will contain the spores, megaspores. Adu vandu meiosis nadakum. This meiosis nadanda megaspores will produce, and this megaspores will undergo mitosis to form the gametophyte. Gametophyte will like archegonium with the egg, the fusion nadakum, archegonium with the gametophyte fusion nadakum. Then pollination, fertilization will occur. Same sporophyte will be formed. So this is the life cycle. Clear? So here there are, in gymnosperms there are two different phases like other things. two different phases. Here the sporophyte phase is diploid, dominant and independent, whereas the gametophyte phase is haploid, recessive and dependent. Okay, hope you are clear with these terms. So sporophyte on the diploid, dominant, independent, whereas gametophyte phase will be haploid, recessive and dependent phase. And this is the same life cycle we saw. So this is a picture of the longitudinal section of a pinus ovule. Okay, so here enagon the nucellus or the megasporangium is protected by envelopes, and the composite structure is called as the ovule. Okay, so the megasporangium will be protected by envelopes or composite structures called as the ovule. Okay, the megaspore mother cell will divide mitotically to form 4 megaspores. So there will be a megaspore mother cell, and the megaspore mother cell will divide to give rise to 4 different megaspores. So one of the megaspore will develop into a multicellular female gametophyte. Okay, so that will bear 2 or more archegonia or a female sex organ. The multicellular female gametophyte is also retained within the megasporangium. So one of the 4 spores in Nago, it will develop into the female gametophyte. Okay, that is in short. Okay, now what happened? The pollen grains will be released from the microsporangium. The pollination in the gymnosperms is by anemophilous method. Anemophilous now on the wind pollination. Pollination by wind is known as anemophilous. Okay, so pollen grains will be released from the microsporangium through wind. Okay, so the pollen grains will come in contact with the opening of the ovules, which has the sporophyls. Okay, megasporophylls will have the megaspores. Okay, so the pollen grains will come in contact with the megaspores. So the pollen tube carrying the male gametes grows towards the archegonia, that is the female structure, archegonia in the ovules, and they discharge their contents. Okay, so you can see here. So this is the megasporium. The megasporium you have the megaspore. This is the spore wall here. So this is an unfertilized ovule. So when a male gametophyte within the pollen grain enters, okay, so it gets fertilized. So the ovule gets fertilized here. The ovule is fertilized, and here you can see the gymnosperm seed. Once fertilized in the seed it will have a seed coat here. This is a food storage. Here it is the new embryo is present here. This is the new sporophyte here. Okay. So the pollen tube carrying the male gametes grow towards the archegonium in the ovules and discharge their contents. Discharge the sperms near the mouth of the archegonium. Okay. Following the fertilization, zygote will develop into embryo and the ovules into seeds. So the seeds are not recovered. Okay. So however, Flara's fruta, it does not develop. Okay. The fertilization is direct here as the pollens are received directly in the pollen chamber of the ovule. So the fertilization is direct. Okay, and the fertilization is achieved through pollen tubes. Okay, and this process is called siphonogamy. Siphonogamy, since the fertilization is direct, in the type of fertilization is known as siphonogamy. Clear? So this is the difference between angiosperms and gymnosperms. We have time, we can discuss. Okay. So next is okay. So if you want to say something. Okay, now we'll see about the various life cycles. Okay, we have three different life cycles: haplotonic, haplodiplontic, and diplontic. Okay, so இது மூணுத்துக்கு என்ன difference ன்னு we'll see. So what is haplontic? So haplontic means the dominant photosynthetic phase in such plants will be free living. Okay, haploid gametophyte, free living haploid gametophyte இருந்துச்சுன்னா it is haplontic. Okay, so the dominant photosynthetic phase is free living haploid gametophyte அப்படினா it is haplontic. Okay, for example algae la வந்து it is haplontic, the life cycle is haplontic, whereas bryophytes lo pteridophytes lo it is haplodiplontic. Okay, so bryophytes and pteridophytes enna agum, interestingly they exhibit an intermediate condition. So haplontic or diplontic nadula there will be an intermediate condition, so it is haplodiplontic. Both the phases will be multicellular. Okay, and they differ in their dominant phases. Yeah, both will be multicellular, however they will differ in their dominant phases. Okay, so haplontic and diplontic nadula intermediate ah irukra oru phase da vandu haplodiplontic. So what is diplontic? Diploid sporophyte is dominant. Okay, there haploid gametophyte is dominant, adukku per haplontic. Here diploid sporophyte is dominant, adukku per diplontic life cycle, cycle. Okay, so here the independent phase of the plant is diploid sporophyte, which is dominant. Okay, so this kind of life cycle is called as diplontic. Idu edhula irukona gymnosperms and angiosperms. Okay, so initially we saw algae. So algae வந்து haplontic. Next we saw about bryophytes and pteridophytes. அது ரெண்டுமே வந்து they are haplodiplontic. Then we saw about gymnosperms and angiosperms which are diplontic. Clear? So this is about the life cycle. Okay, till here everyone is clear? So everyone is clear till here? Any doubts? Any doubts? Okay, so it's almost time. Okay, if you have any doubts you can ask me. With this we have actually completed the plant kingdom. Since angiosperms are not included in your included for you, I have not taken it. While we complete everything, if we have time we can discuss about all those deleted portions. Okay, the slides and presentation, the recordings, you can get the recordings. I'll ask someone to give you. Any other doubts? Okay. Okay. Okay, since there are no doubts, okay, I'm ending the meeting here. Your last test marks, I'll send it to your personal numbers. So Niveta B is there. V Niveta. V Niveta. Okay. So very good. She has topped. She has got 14 out of 15. Okay. Others have also did well, but I'm expecting more next time. Okay. Okay. Congrats, Niveta. Okay. Next time we'll see. Okay. With this, I'm ending the meeting. All your marks will be sent to your personal numbers. Thank you.